Hello everyone, this is John from Watercolor John. Welcome to another instructional video. Today we're going to be doing a little sketchbook work. Finished paintings are wonderful and finished paintings give you a lot of satisfaction, but one of the best ways to complete a finished painting really well is to do a lot of work in your sketchbook. And there's a lot of reasons for doing sketchbook work. Some people do it to record a place they're at, a little scene they like, the sunlight, the colors. Some use it as like a personal journal, others use it for practice, all of which are perfectly legitimate reasons. I use it for a little of all of it actually. And one of the things I like to do is when I'm not going to be making any kind of a studio work or finished painting, I still like to paint every day. So sometimes if I just don't feel it for a finished painting, I'll just put out a sketchbook or some scrap pieces of paper and I'll just, spend an hour painting something or doodling something. As long as you put paint to paper and have some fun with it, then that's it. So today we're going to do a couple of figures that we are going to sketch, watercolor figures. And I personally have been, I don't want to say afraid, but extremely hesitant about trying figures for a long time. And then I saw a video on YouTube, actually a couple of them, from a really good artist, I believe he's in England, Bob Davies. Check out his channel if you ever get a chance. A lot of what I'm going to demonstrate here I got from him, and his videos helped take the fear of doing figures myself and pretty much put it away. I'm going to show you a couple of them that I've been doing with his work in this little sketchbook. And these are some of the figures that we're going to be doing. The clothes they wear or what they're doing is completely irrelevant. That's up to your taste. If you have a little scene you want, if you want them sitting, whatever. The first thing you got to do is get comfortable making figures to where it's not something that's really intimidating. Once the intimidation fact is gone, then you can do absolutely anything you want. And really, sky's the limit. You can do a lot of urban sketching, cafe sketching, finished paintings even. You can put them in landscapes, anything you want. So for right now, we're just gonna go over some stuff that I learned from Bob Davies and stuff that I kind of picked up on my own from doing it myself. So one of the things that I want to give you the difference, and I'll show you, are the brushes. Okay, now they're both synthetic brushes. This particular one here is a Raphael Precision. It's got a little bit stiffer bristles than this one, and it doesn't hold as much water as this one. And this one here is a Cotman that I cut down just to make it a little easier for me. But the Cotman holds a lot more water, which for some applications is good. For doing figure sketches like we're going to be doing, I don't like it as much, and I'll show you why. I'll tell you why first, and then I'll show you. It holds too much water, and you got to wait too long for things to dry before you can add other parts. Where since this doesn't hold as much water, but it does hold enough pigment, it goes on with a more thicker consistency, so you can add hair and different clothes or whatever a little easier without waiting for it to dry as long. So we'll start out with the Raphael Precision, and it's not just this particular brush. Any synthetic brush with soft bristles that's got a little bit of a, I don't know if you can tell what I'm doing, but a little bit of snap to it that's not going to hold a ton of water. So we'll go from here and we'll just start. Let me see here. We will start with, get my paint here. We'll start with the basic head. And you're just going to make a circle. There you go. And it's not a perfect circle. What is? Most people's heads aren't perfect circles. Now, one of the things, I'm going to try and zoom in on this. Please forgive me because I'm new to video. Oh, wrong way. You can probably tell that's not dripping with water, okay? It's wet, obviously, it's watercolor, but it's not dripping completely with water. I was able to get it dry enough. Now, when I use the other brush, that does hold a lot more pigment and a lot more water, you can dry it, but it still takes a little bit longer. I don't know if you could tell, it's a lot wetter than this one. so it's going to take longer to dry before you can add stuff to it. So we'll go back to the Raphael Precision, and let's give this person, man, woman, or child, it doesn't matter. Let's get them a shirt with a collar. And these, one, they're sketches. Two, nothing here has to be perfect. And you can eyeball it as far as proportions. Okay, that size head. Bring his torso down. That looks pretty good. And then here's the shoulders, and we'll just bring the arms to the waistline. There we go. Now we'll rinse out our brush, and we'll give them, what do you think? Denim jeans? We'll go with denim jeans. Now, you can go right up to it, and because the red is still a little wet, you're gonna have a little bit of bleed. But because we're using the synthetic brush that's a little stiffer, you're not gonna get a huge bleed up because none of this is super wet. It's wet enough to do the job, but not completely. So I'm gonna come down like this, and then what we're gonna do is one leg, like that person is walking. And then give them a shadow. You don't have to draw the feet when they're in a pose like this. And the reason you don't have to is because it's melting right into, push this up a little bit, melting right into the shadow. And it looks like they're grounded, and when a human being looks at a painting with a figure like this in it, it's just gonna assume this figure has feet. Otherwise, how can he walk? Okay, now, you can add more paint, or you can do what I like to do sometimes, and you gotta add the little neckline. So we left a collar here. So while that's still a little wet, take some of that paint and make the collar, the person's neck. Then what you wanna do is rinse out your brush, take a little of this excess water here, make sure everything is done, and put on his hands, which is just little dabs here. And that's it, until he dries. So what we're gonna do is, while that one's drying, we'll go to the next one, and we'll give them a really dark blue shirt. To be exact, it's a dark Mayan blue color. It's a beautiful blue. It actually, if you notice, it looks a little like a Payne's gray, but it is actually blue. It makes some beautiful greens when you mix them with yellows too. And then the same thing. You have the arms, go almost down to the waistline. There we go. And we'll give them the same denim French ultramarine jeans. Go down here. There we go there. There. Okay, now, same as before. Use some of this that's already there. Bring it down. Now they have a neckline. And they have hands. Okay, now in the field, if you're doing urban sketching, you just gotta let Mother Nature and hopefully a nice breeze dry your painting, especially the head, so we can add hair. When we're here in the studio, if you don't mind the noise, we can use a hair dryer. Okay, it's not completely dry, but it's dry enough. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna give both of them some brown hair. We're gonna have them looking at each other. So, the angle of the hair will determine which way the face is. So we got some brown here. Gonna need some more. A little bit more brown here. There we go. Because of the angle, it looks like his face is pointing this way. And we're going to do the same thing, except in the opposite direction with the other figure, so it looks like they're looking at each other. There's the brown here. A little darker on here. And there you go. Now you've got two figures that are very simple to do. Thank you, Bob Davies. That will not intimidate you. The only thing now is once you get these down, you can experiment with different colors of clothing. You can experiment with making them women by having it taper a little bit more, and instead of the legs have here, have like a skirt. I haven't done women a lot yet with painting, so I'll do that in the next demonstration we do for this. Have down here and up, in theory. I will test that theory with you. Actually, forget it. I told you in my intro to this channel that it's going to be a learning experience, so let's do a lady right now. If you hear that quack quack, that is my parrot that thinks he's a duck. And he likes to do the quack quack noise. Had to see it on some TV show or something, I have no idea. He's a crazy bird. When he's out flying around, he likes to dive by my head. Okay, so let us see now. What will this lady be wearing? I am kind of partial to green. So how about if we give her a green dress? Let me get some paint on here, some green. We're going to do the same thing with the collar. Make it just a little more slender. And then what we'll do is we'll use the same color that we used for the head, which is yellow ochre. We'll go with the legs. Make that a little darker. Go here with her hands. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a little brown with a little bit of yellow to lighten it up a little bit. And give her a little bit of a different hair color. And I'm going to make it a little longer. Bring her neck down a little bit. And a little bit more fuller on the head of hair. And let's see how that looks. That is passable for a first one. Like I said, I've never done a lady before. I've just been practicing on the guys because they were a little bit easier. So there we go. We got two guys looking at each other and a lady looking at the two guys, which is a nice switch. Usually it's the other way around. So this is your basic introduction to doing figures. This is a good starting point for you. When you sit down and you take your time and you're not trying to do a time crunch on a video or anything else, you're going to get really good results, and the more you do them, the better results you're going to get. So this is it for today. You have a great day, and please keep painting.